One early morning, Stepney the Bluebell engine was making his way to the Sodor Search Rescue Center. The rescue center was getting new supplies, and Stepney had been chosen to take the new supplies to the rescue center. He soon arrived at the rescue center and left his vans near the platform. He was still very sleepy and decided to spend the rest of the early hours in the morning at the rescue center.
I'll sleep here for a few hours. I'm too sleepy to go back to the sheds.
And with that, Stepney drifted off back to sleep. About 2 hours later, Stepney awoke to see that the sun was finally up.
Well, time to get to work.
He whistled to let the turntable operator know that he wanted to get turned around, but to his surprise, the turntable stood where it was. Stepney whistled again.
Let me through, please.
The turntable didn't move. A workman came up and spoke to Stepney and his crew. "The turntable is jammed. I'm afraid you're trapped. I'll call Sir Topham Hatt to let him know." A few moments later, the workman returned. "Another engine will be doing your work for the time being, so in the meantime, you'll just have to stay put." Stepney was disappointed, but not for long. He discovered that he wasn't the only engine who was trapped. Pulling out of the sheds was Virgil, the high-mech diesel engine.
What's going on?
The workman explained the problem to Virgil. "It will take a few hours to fix the turntable, so in the meantime, you and Stepney will have to stay put."
Okay, sir.
Stepney glanced over at the high-mech diesel engine. He didn't know that the Sodor Search and Rescue Center had a diesel to help out with rescue operations. He decided to introduce himself to the newcomer.
My name's Stepney, the Bluebell engine.
Stepney? Aren't you that same terrier that pulled the rail tour with May when the visiting steam engine came here about 3 weeks ago?
Yep, that's me.
I thought I recognized you. You and May did the right thing to fill in for that visiting engine to take over the rail tour.
Well, we were also able to teach that visiting engine a lesson or two.
And Stepney told Virgil about the visiting steam engine that had teased him and Stepney about their age, and had dropped his fire bars when he was steaming out of the yards.
Serves him right for what he said to you both.
Both engines chuckled at this. Then, Stepney asked Virgil a question.
How long have you been working here?
I've been working here for a couple months. Although I was filling in for Gordon at the time, I could tell you the story to pass the time if you want.
Stepney liked the idea, and so this was the story Virgil told Stepney of how he first came to the Northwestern Railway. Now, this story took place after Edward had discovered May, and before Violet, Richie, and Barry arrived on the Northwestern Railway. The railway had become busier than ever before. More trains had to be scheduled, and the engines had to work very hard. So much so, that some of the engines had to do some jobs that they had never done before. Gordon had to be put on goods work because the mixed traffic engines couldn't keep up with all the work. At first, Gordon was a little hesitant, but after doing some of the jobs he had to do, he didn't mind.
It's nice to do some quiet work. Besides, I'm teaching these trucks manners.
The other engines felt very relieved that Gordon had something else to talk about rather than pulling the express. Things went smoothly with Gordon for a few days. That was until one day, Gordon was taking some empty trucks to the coaling plant. But on the journey, the trucks had grown bored and decided to have some fun with the big blue engine. All back! All back!
Stop holding me back, you stupid trucks!
He began to slow down, but Gordon wasn't going to lose to a bunch of troublesome trucks, so he started to give a little more effort as he began to pick up speed. This was a big mistake. When the trucks felt Gordon pulling hard against them, they surged forward and pushed him down the line. On! Faster! Faster!
Stop pushing me!
Gordon's driver shut off steam and tried to apply the brakes, but the train was going too fast to slow down. There was worse to come. At the coaling plant, Percy was being coupled up to some loaded coal trucks to take to Thomas's branch line. He was just about to leave when he heard Gordon's whistle, and then he saw him charging towards him. A quick-thinking workman switched the points, and Gordon thundered into a siding. Threw some bumpers, skidded along the ground, and stopped right into a big pile of coal. No one was hurt, but Gordon's wheels were damaged due to the impact from hitting the ground. Gordon felt very embarrassed as he heard the trucks laughing all around the coaling plant. Later, Gordon was lifted back onto the rails with the breakdown crane, and Edward took him to the Sodor Steamworks. A little while later, after Gordon had been inspected for any damage, Sir Topham had arrived to speak to the inspector.
What's the damage, Inspector?
I'm afraid it's not good, sir. All of Gordon's driving wheels are damaged from the impact from his crash. I'm afraid he'll need to be in the works for quite a while.
I see. Well, Gordon, while you are being repaired, James and Henry will have to take it in turns to pull the express until you are mended.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Not your fault. It's always those stupid trucks.
Throughout the first couple of days, James and Henry took charge of the Wild Northwestern. They did well pulling the express, and while one of them was pulling it, Bear would sometimes help out with their other trains. But however, the high-mech diesel engine was busy with his own work, so sometimes either James or Henry had to take each other's goods trains when the other one was pulling the express. This was becoming too much for the two mixed traffic engines, and they couldn't wait for Gordon to return. One morning, James was once again backing down onto the express. On platform 3, Ash was there picking up his passengers.
Good morning, James.
What's good about it? I'm stuck pulling the express again.
What? I thought you enjoyed pulling the express.
I do enjoy pulling the express. It makes a nice change. But day in and day out is just too much for me and Henry. We need someone else to pull the express because both Henry and I can't keep up with our own work.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Maybe I can talk to Sir Topham Hatt about this.
Oh, thank you, Ash. I owe you one.
Soon, the signal changed, the guard blew his whistle, and James departed with the Wild Northwestern. That afternoon, Ash pulled into Kildane Station to find Sir Topham Hatt there. It was lucky he did, because he needed to tell him.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Ash, what is it?
Ash explained to him about James and Henry's predicament and how they couldn't keep up with their own jobs. When he finished explaining, Sir Topham Hatt looked concerned.
I see. Thank you, Ash, for bringing this to my attention.
That isn't all, sir. I know an engine that could help.
A splendid idea. I'll contact the other railway at once.
Arrangements took time. Then, one morning, Henry pulled into Nafford Station to find an unfamiliar diesel engine coupled up to the express. He was the same class as Bear, but the only difference was that he was painted in Bear's original colors, and he had a different number which said D7093. Sir Topham Hatt introduced the new engine to the big green engine.
Ah, Henry. I would like you to meet Virgil, the Hymac diesel engine. He will be pulling the express and taking care of your trains, and James's too, when one of you are pulling the express. Please make Virgil feel welcomed.
Yes, sir. Hello, Virgil. Nice to meet you. My name is Henry.
Nice to meet you, Henry. Oh, that's a guard whistle. I better get going. I'll see you later, Henry.
Goodbye, Virgil.
Over the next few weeks, Virgil pulled the express alongside with James and Henry, and he even covered both Henry and James's jobs whenever they were in charge of the express. But that wasn't the only thing that Virgil took care of while he was on Sodor. If there was an engine who had broken down, struggling with a heavy goods train, or in an accident, Virgil would come to their rescue. The engines were impressed with Virgil's performance and talked endlessly about him. One evening, Virgil was shunting Whiff into the steamworks. Whiff had popped a valve while pulling a long train of garbage to his waste dump. Virgil helped him to take his train to the waste dump, then after that, he brought him to the Sodor steamworks.
There you are, Whiff.
Thanks, Virgil.
Virgil, I've been hearing about your performance on the railway, and I'm very impressed with you. How do you do it?
Well, sir, on the Unova Railway, there is a search and rescue center that I worked at. I help out any engine in need, no matter what type of engine they are.
A fine piece of work. Tell me, Virgil, do you want to go back to your railway?
To be honest, no. I heard them say that they were going to bring a new engine to take my place, and that I'm going to be withdrawn from service.
In that case, do you want to stay here on the island of Sodor?
Yes, sir! I would love to be part of your railway. It would be great to be working alongside my old friends.
Very well, here you shall stay. I will make the arrangements, and I just thought of something. As you managed before, you worked at a search and rescue center on the Unova Railway, and after helping the other engines. The Sodor Search and Rescue Center is in need of another engine. Bell and Flynn can't fight fires and help engines who are in an accident at the same time. So would you like to work there?
Yes, sir! I would love to work at the Sodor Search and Rescue Center. A few days after Gordon was back in service, I started working here.
Wow, everybody must be delighted to hear that you were staying.
They were. I'm happy to be part of the Northwestern. Here on this railway, we're like family here, no matter what kind of fuel we run or what we look like.
A moment later, the foreman came up and spoke to the two engines. Stepney and Virgil, the turntable has been fixed. You can be able to get turned around now.
I guess I better get going. It was nice meeting you, Virgil, and I'll see you later.
It was nice to meet you, Stepney.
As he left the Sodor Search and Rescue Center, Stepney thought back on Virgil's story. He thought that Virgil was one of the most useful and reliable diesels he had ever met.
Virgil is one of the most helpful and friendly diesels I've ever known. He helps anyone in need, steam or diesel. He's no ordinary diesel. No, he's Virgil. Virgil the Rescue Diesel.